Hey! How's it going? Quick small disclaimer before we start. This video is an extension to the My Search for the Best Pokemon video I uploaded a couple months ago, better known as Odin's lame excuse to talk about his favorite Pokemon for half an hour video. There's a little bit of context that you may want before watching this video, so I'll give you some time to go watch that. Done? Okay, perfect. That video is a tiny bit outdated, but we'll get into that a little later. Let's go. So, by this point, I'm sure you all can tell that I absolutely love Pokemon, and there are certain 25 Pokemon that I love above all others. Those guys, I love them. They're fantastic. But there's a bit of an issue. See, I don't have those guys as shiny yet. For me, that's sacrilegious. What have I been doing all this time? I'm sure it was nothing important, really. So, I've come up with a way I can fix this. I'll call it Explodin's favorite important shiny hunt quest, or the fish quest for short. This was originally going to be the entire point of 2025, a full year of shiny hunting my favorite Pokemon, but the longer the idea stewed in my brain, the more the scope of the project widened. The fish quest will probably be my most ambitious and longest shiny hunt quest for a while, and most certainly will not be completed within a year. I do have one specific requirement for these shiny hunts that I would like to fulfill too. The methodology in which I shiny hunt these Pokemon we'll get into a little later, but for all of these hunts specifically, I would like to hunt in one game. I want to try having the most personal experience shiny hunting these Pokemon, and that is the best way I feel I can have that experience. With that being said, I think we should take a look at each specific Pokemon and talk about the shiny hunts I would like to do for them.
Relicanth's shiny hunt was fairly simple to figure out, honestly. Going for the old-fashioned Ruby hunt. Underwater Route 126 kind of idea. With Repel Trick, of course. Do I want to deal with getting phases? Maybe once, yeah. I wouldn't mind a shiny Gen 3 Chinchou. But anything after that? It'll be only Relicanth and Clamperl for me. I will also be giving these Pokemon their chosen names in this video as well. Most of the names are going to be silly, I'm gonna be honest. But a lot of them are names that I believe fit well with the Pokemon I'm giving them to. And, again, I like these names. So, this Relicanth will either be named Uncle Grandpa or Aunt Grandma, depending on gender. Regielecki's hunt was also very simple, and that's mostly because it can only be found in one location in all of the Pokemon games. Capacitron, as I have lovingly named it, will be found in the split decision ruins of my Pokemon Sword version very specifically. I would like to add this to my Sword Badge quest, which I hopefully will have revived by the time this video is released. I'm still debating on that though. I am by no means a stranger for what I'm going to be doing for Applin. In fact, this is already a hunt that I've attempted before. In the first video I ever uploaded on this channel, I wanted to prepare myself for the Scarlet Violet DLC by hunting both Applin and Duraludon in advance in Sword and Shield. I never got my shiny Applin. Therefore, I'm going to be using Harvest in the Wild area to hopefully get that shiny Applin this time around. Oh, right, their name will be Junior, because they'll be the smaller sibling to my eventual big shiny Hydrapple. When it comes to Scyther, I believe I have two different options. Either I go for a Fire Red Safari Zone Scyther, which is going to take a while, or I go for a little easier but still pretty complicated Alpha Scyther in Pokemon Legends Arceus. Honestly, the more I'm thinking about it, I actually kind of like the idea of having either or be the hunt for this Pokemon. I have no doubt that the Alpha will shine first, and it certainly fits the name Big Boss better, but a shiny Scyther in the Safari Zone, I mean, like, come on, that's really cool. There really aren't that many locations to hunt Dhelmise in, and with it being only available in 2-3 games at best, it's really hard to find a cool shiny hunt for it. So what I'm opting to do is to go right outside of Spike Myth and doing random encounters. And if that wasn't enough of a hint, we're doing this in Sword and Shield. I also don't want to add this hunt to the growing list of hunts I'm retroactively adding to my Sword Badge quest, because at this point I already have 3 in mind. Also, a little side note, I really wish that Gen 10 has Delmise. If that does end up happening, Capstan's shiny hunt will have a last minute swap. Right here is where Lilligant would have been, if it weren't for the fact that I realized it should be significantly higher on the list. Same with Lunatone too. It's just over time I realized I loved them even more than I originally did. So, we're gonna move right on to Lileep. And what can we do with Lileep? Well, I'll tell ya. Like our good friend Relicanth, we're gonna hunt it in Ruby version. It might be really hard to do fossil resets on one console, but you know what? I'm down for the challenge. This will also be my target for Fossil Week. I just hope that Arnold doesn't take too long. Regigigas? More like Gigas Chad, am I right? Anyways, there's actually a surprising amount of games you could shiny hunt Regigigas in. And some of them are really cool shiny hunts too. I mean, you got the level 1 in Platinum, you have the Dynamax Den in Sword and Shield's DLC, a lot of really cool ways. Now, the only issue I'm running into is that this will take a while to actually get to, because there are other Regis that I'm going to want to hunt before Regigigas. I'm tempted to say I want to go for the level 1 Regigigas, however, the Dynamax Den seems so much cooler. You know, the more and more I see these Ultra Beast shinies, the more and more I desperately want them. Who's to say I don't already have one? And I've been lying about not having one this entire time. Flash warning, you've been warned.
Hi. Sorry. Oh my goodness. It is currently February 7th, 2025. I am just doing some editing work on my next video, and I was shiny hunting on the side, and oh my god, you can see it there. Okay, hold on. We have switched cameras, and you can see that is a shiny Xurkitree. This was an incredibly fast hunt. Like, I mean, so incredibly fast. Ooh. Come on. 2, 3. Oh my god!
That's right, not only do I already have a shiny Xurkitree, but I've had it for over a year at this point. At long last, I finally get to introduce you all to Cable, my relaxed nature shiny Xurkitree that is now the 3rd shiny Pokemon for the Fish Quest. Why they aren't the first, I'll get into a little later. But I do happen to have another little surprise. Okay. No shiny Escavalier. No shiny Ivysaur. No shiny Mr. Mime. Shiny Buzzwole! Yes! Let's go! Oh! Yes! Shiny Buzzwole! Not only one, but both of my Ultra Beast targets have been found. Say hello to Hathor, my beefy, beastly Buzzwole, who is really cool. Look, okay, I can't think of any more B words, okay? I'm sorry. I found this guy during a Dynamax Adventure weekend, which was the method I really wanted to get this in. That is the last surprise I had. We're getting back to the list now. Moving right along, we're gonna be looking at Kling Clang. the superior version of Clang, and the super duperior version of Clink. I want to do this hunt in the amazing Alola region, using Island Scan, a method I've never used before. It's going to be interesting having a Pokemon that I can only hunt on a very specific day of the week. I'll at least have something to look forward to after a day at work. I also want to name it Cogswell, because I thought it sounded pretty silly. Now here's the thing with Necrozma, right? I have a shiny Necrozma already, and I don't really feel like it's necessary that I get another one. You know what? How about this? That's right, I'm using this chance to shiny hunt my 26th favorite Pokemon of all time, Mabostiff. The hunt will obviously take place in Scarlet and Violet, and will be my only mark-hunted shiny, because Shadow deserves it. It's a really tough decision deciding on where I want to hunt the Regis, because there are so many games that you can hunt them in. Now, because I believe that Regirock is kind of like a poster child for the legendary sextuplet at this point, I believe I should do a shiny hunt in the Origin game for the Regis, so that's exactly where I'm going to be shiny hunting Stalagmite in Ruby and Sapphire. Hey, look, Garchomp. Right off the bat, I definitely want to hunt this thing in Platinum, 100%. And because we're going to Turnback Cave for some random encounters, I want some phases. The name was very hard for me to pinpoint. I've gone through, like 7 different iterations of names. I finally settled on the name Rudy, though. I think it's pretty nice. You know, a shiny Zekrom is actually one of the things I've really wanted for a long time, ever since the release of Black and White. And I was obviously super happy that I couldn't do it, thanks to Shiny Locks. Maybe in the future we can do a shiny unlocked hunt in Pokemon Black and White, but until that point, Virgil will be found in Ultra Moon as a soft reset hunt. It's honestly the most accessible for me anyways. Yet another Regi, and so soon too. In a perfect world, I would love to shiny hunt Regice in White 2. However, my love for Zekrom as a kid had me choose Black 2 instead, and I'm not going to spend over $200 to get myself a copy of White 2. Given I'm not able to find a way to get the Iceberg key before I start this hunt, Icesicle, yes, that is how the name is pronounced, is going to be an Alpha Sapphire shiny hunt. Alola Ninetales is actually one of the rare cases where I have actively started hunting for this Pokemon. Have I gotten it? No, or else it would have been in this video. What I can tell you is that this Pokemon is the only reason I opened a play Pokemon Let's Go Eevee at the current moment. I'm doing in-game trades to get this shiny, and while you may think I won't be able to name it because it was an in-game trade, I can just transfer it up to Scarlet and Violet and name it Winter. It might be a generic name, but look, it's my favorite season. Kyurem is where Pokemon Black and White get a redemption, because for some reason, Kyurem doesn't have a shiny lock on it. And you know what that means? No, it doesn't mean fish. Why are you saying fish? That means we can shiny hunt it in Pokemon Black and White. For Glacier is the name I chose for Kyurem, because it's a combination of Forgotten and Glacier. And that's kinda where my creativity took a nosedive. Still sounds cool though. I think it's better to have Primarina up higher on the list. And funny enough, like Alolan Ninetales, this is a hunt that I've actively been working on as well. But I'm really only hunting this under very specific circumstances. Those circumstances, of course, will be outlined after I get the shiny Pokemon in its own video. Until then, however, I will continue to do the starter resets in Ultra Moon. And no, I will not be doing this in Moon. Those starter resets are way too long. Primarina's name will also be dependent on several factors, so make sure you keep an eye out for whenever that video shows up in the future. Much like its brother Regieleki, Regidrago only has one location where you can shiny hunt it, that being the Split Decision Ruins in Galar. I had really hoped that Scarlet and Violet's DLC would have brought another way to shiny hunt the Regis into the game, but
even if they were in the DLC, they probably would have been shiny locked anyways, so I'm still kind of annoyed that I'm not able to get shiny Spectrier. Unlike that ghost horse, I'm still happy that I'm able to shiny hunt for a Regidrago, which I will name Wyvernium. Archaludon is one of the newest Pokemon to exist, and I already have a shiny of it. Yeah, while I could have shiny hunted for another one, I've decided that Rust, my original shiny Archaludon that I got in my first shiny hunting video ever, is already special enough for me. So Feraligator's the real target here, and not just any kind of Feraligator, but a Shadow Feraligator from Pokemon Colosseum. Well, technically it starts off as a Shadow Croconaw, but we'll skip past that. Also, this technically isn't the 27th favorite Pokemon, this is just a Pokemon I want to shiny hunt for. I've always wanted to do a Shadow Hunt, and I thought why not put it in here too. This may come as a shock, but Lilligant has seriously risen to the number 5 spot. I honestly don't know what it is about Lilligant that made me love it so much, but yeah. This may or may not be the most difficult shiny hunt for this challenge. I want to get shiny Lilligant in Pokemon White as a Lilligant from Pinwheel Forest. And that means I have to hunt it with Phenomena spots, or the Shaking Grass. And not only that, it's a 10% encounter rate. I honestly don't know if Repel Chick works for it. I hope it does. It's the same thing with Lunatone. I don't know why, for some reason, I just started loving Lunatone, but it's so weird. Maybe it's nostalgia from Pokemon XD, I don't know. In any case, I would like to get a shiny Lunatone as a part of my Sword badge quest. In fact, it's the 3rd Pokemon that I've been actively hunting at the time of this recording. I've been hunting this in full odds eggs, no Masuda. Am I crazy? Maybe. I'm just hoping that Cosmo shows up soon. Golisopod's shiny hunt actually changed. You see, originally I was just gonna do a regular softer set hunt in Alola. However, thanks to a very certain DLC that released for a game that I play, I'm now changing this to a Legend ZA shiny hunt. I'm going to be going for specifically an Alpha Golisopod, and I'm going to try to do it at full odds too. I don't know how well that's going to work, but Lavos is going to be a big Golisopod, and it certainly fits the name. Hydrapple also has the possibility to be the hardest shiny hunt for the fish quest, and that's mostly because I want this to be a curry hunt in Pokemon Shield. I have silently been preparing for this hunt ever since I thought of the fish quest, and by preparing, I mean it's going to be a part of my badge quest. Like many other things on this list, that encounter rate does not scare me at all, especially when Tarts is on the line. Last but not least on our journey is Registeel. Registeel is going to be very difficult, and it's because I have decided to do a generation quest for Registeel. I will be going for 7 different Registeel in 7 different games over multiple generations. Their names? I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. I'm just excited over the idea that I will have 7 different shiny Registeel over 7 different games. That's a dream come true. And that, my friends, marks the end of this video. Thank you all very much for watching. It's been a while since I've been able to show a shiny Pokemon off, especially one that means so incredibly much to me. Yeah, I'm excited for the future of the fish quest, and not just the fish quest itself, but more shiny hunts in the future. Of course, I will be shiny hunting most of this on stream on my Twitch channel, links in the description. If you have any other suggestions for what I should do outside of the fish quest, maybe leave a comment. I mean, heck, maybe even like, or, you know, if you're feeling a little saucy, just maybe subscribe. Just a little suggestion. Alright, that's truly enough for me. Ciao for now, and I'll see you guys all on the flip side.